Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CryptoNYC podcast. We're buzzing as always. It's a beautiful day here in sunny Mexico. Guys, I'm going home next week. I'm going to freeze my you-know-what off in Toronto in T-minus 1 week. It's going to be terrible, but I'm so excited to see friends and family, sleep in my own bed, have the desk and the chair and the nice monitor back. But I will miss the sun, the beach, the tacos, the palm trees, and all that good stuff that Mexico has to offer. Super pumped to have today's guest on the show. She's coming in hot from my favorite city in the world, New York City. And wait till you see what we get into right at the beginning of the show. This literally almost made me cry. Today we have Joanna Zeng on the show today, co-founder and CEO of Soon Network. Before establishing Soon, also known as the Solana Optimistic Network, she used to be a currency trader on Wall Street and has since held roles in BD and product management at Aleo, Optimism, and Coinbase, and also served as a founding member of CryptoNYC and is an active angel investor. Can't wait to get into everything Soon related. Joanna, welcome to the show, my friend. How you doing this lovely morning?
I'm doing great, and I agree that you have to come to the best city for crypto right now.
It's not even for
It's a
crypto.
city
It's
that
the
has
best city.
Saratoga.
Yes, guys. So when Joanna first jumped on here, I saw this blue bottle and I was like, "There's no way she has what I think she has." You guys must have seen the big black dude who is an abs. This guy is a beast, and turns out he's an
Ashton, yeah.
ex-football, Ashton Genty or whatever. He's an ex-football player. His morning routines have gone mega viral. Like my aunt messaged me 2 days ago and was like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And like, I didn't even know she's using all these socials. Just wild how it works. And you got to give us the playbook. How is it? What does it taste like? Give us like a Dave Portnoy review out of 10, because you are a big water girl. What does it taste
Yeah.
like?
Yeah. Before we started the show, we were just saying that I'm all about still water. So this was like one of the, a few brands that I can choose from. I used to be more of a Fiji girl, but this is definitely, this takes it all for me now, given all the hype around it, and then just the fact that we can do good memes out of it. Like I was just
100%.
taking a couple photos with Soon in the background, our like website in the background, and then a couple people like kind of cheering with the bottle. I love a good meme, I think, especially in this bear market.
100%. Also, a little side note to that. I don't know if you saw this, Joanna, but yesterday when I was doing one of my way too many scrolls on X, I saw that before market opening, the parent company, I forget the parent company's name, but the parent company was up like 3 or 4% of,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then under that, like 2 posts later, I saw someone who posted the Instagram profile of our beautiful blue water bottle company, and there was no post from our boy Ashton over the whole weekend when it went mega viral. And the post was like, if you're the board of this company, or if you're the CEO, do you fire the CMO? Do you fire the head of socials? Do you fire
Exactly.
both of them? Like,
How do you not know?
how do you not take advantage of that? You are literally the talk of all of socials and you haven't even posted about it. That's insane.
Yeah. That's just goes to show the disconnect between Web 2 and 3, right? I mean, I think it's awesome that, this person is getting the virality of all the social following even more than, Trump, right? Like his tweet
Yeah,
is getting a much higher click rate than even like some of the more well-known figures. So
it's
yeah,
crazy.
it's
Spe-
it just I think it makes me more hopeful about the whole crypto world, because it seems like everyone is just in hibernating mode. But now all of a sudden, something comes out that's fun, everyone laughs at,
Gets the
and
people going.
that's what, yeah, exactly, that's what we were about.
I love it. One quick note before we get into Soon here. You are really, really good at, I mean, your team does a great job at marketing. You're great at marketing yourself as well.
Thank
Um, and when it comes to just like the meme land, I can't even explain to friends how this works, but like as soon as I saw the video pop off on Friday, I didn't do anything. I was out with friends. I woke up Saturday. I went on Dex Screener, I went on Dex Tools, and I saw what was on there. You had banana peel, you had blue sparkling water, you had Ashton, like you had
the routine.
coins for
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single thing that went viral. Like, how do you as a founder builder in this space sort of explain the weird nuanced crypto shit that happens only for us, that like the normies just can't understand? Like, how do you sort of go about explaining to your friends and family about this?
Yeah, great question. I think it's going back to recognizing, like again, like what makes people tick, right? Is the fact that this guy did all this like ridiculous shit with like the water, doing everything with it, right? Like drinking it, and then yeah, just making people like really relate to it. Like, people were saying like maybe he was jumping into a pool of water that's made of Saratoga water. So I think that's what we're also like, to kind of bring it back to why we're doing what we're doing as soon is what we're really working on right now is it's actually allowing the people like creators to not be bottlenecked by the infra that they're building on
Yeah.
top of. And some of the memes that we made were related to the fact that we're seeing this like convergence of, because he first launched these, not him but other people launched these memes on Solana, and then we quickly saw like how they went to like BNB land, right, to
Yeah.
buy his smart
Yeah.
chain as well. So to me, that's really kind of what I'm all about, right? To bridge the two ecosystem, the EVM's world and the SVM world, and having like everybody across the ecosystem to jump in on, something that's fun and everyone can like trade on. So that's that's what I love about the most. When I tweeted out, it was like, well, no better time to unite the two ecosystem than having
I love that.
banana and
Speaking
morning routine. Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. Speaking of like the whole community building, one of the things in doing research for the show that I absolutely love that you did, and I really don't understand why more companies and builders don't do this. You guys led a quote unquote co-builder funding round last year with zero VC involvement. Perhaps I read that wrong. If I did, my apologies. And
You're
the whole
right.
purpose of this was literally just to allow the community to be a part of the growth and have a stake in the project. I don't get why we don't do that more. Like so many VCs will sort of help you for the first couple of weeks just to like, help you get the ball rolling. And then pardon my French, they just fuck off and they're like, hey, let's just hope Joanna and the team can pump our bags, where it's like, if you have a bunch of like high level community folks who want to haul ass because they're not only, monetarily invested in you and your project, but they also have skin in the game too. Like with how much they love it. I just feel like it's such a no-brainer. Like, why aren't more people doing
Yeah.
this? And walk me through how you guys thought about doing this and how you executed this as well, because I absolutely love this.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's definitely first of its kind playbook when it comes to token allocation. So we actually did a two-step, I should say, a two-prong approach when it comes to community round, right? First of all, we just reserved 51% of the token supply to the community, right? So that's already out of the gate, very much giving that ownership, right? Like we want to be the first like real owned, like community owned project out there. And we accomplished that by, as you mentioned, that first step, the fundraising that we did back in summertime last year when we first came out at Stealth was just the co-builders, right? So that's angels only without any VC involvement. And most recently, when we did our community round, that's through an NFT mint, right? So that we open up to everybody, literally everybody. So this actually included the VC folks as well. So it's a permissionless mint where anyone who wants to participate can participate. And the way that I think it's really nuanced and different from all the other, perhaps other NFT mints or other, echo rounds, right? All these other platforms is the fact that we have three different tiers. So we have valuation expectation that matches with, like with a VC valuation, you have the highest
Mm,
lockup, right? And
yeah.
then with the retail, you have the lowest lockup. You can even get, zero lockup on day one. And then, but the valuation will relatively higher. So there's a lot of consideration that goes into like people's various expectation, risk appetite, right? And then the
100%.
overall vesting terms that they feel comfortable with. And then in the process also, like we kind of bake in there's airdrop into the mint itself. Like I'm not a big believer into like just giving everything for free. Like we are doing some airdrops, just to be clear, right? That is coming. But for this specific fundraising exercise, we wanted people to, pay like the minimum, like small amount to have like some stake in the, like to your point, like skin in the game. So there's two type of criteria that you can get discounts to purchase the NFT. One is you have been yapping about soon, right? So we have an integration with Kaido API. I think we were the
Love
first
that.
and the
Love
only
that.
projects that done that.
Yeah.
So yeah, folks can see their, quantifiably like how much they're contributing to the community, right? From a social impact perspective, and you see the exact score, which guarantees you the discounts. And then the second one is, by doing a bunch of we call quest campaign, right? The various applications that's already live on our mainnet, right? So by interacting with these apps and testing, becoming like our first, testers, they can also get this discounts. So like in many cases, like people can get up to like 80% discount to purchase these NFTs. So yeah, very different pricing schedule, right? From all the other, I guess public rounds that I've seen. So that gave us effectively this super fan base of 5,000 participants that are value aligned long term with Soon. So
Huge.
has been like, I would say single-handedly the most effective tool when I go out and speak to developers, right? So given that we have a mainnet that has been live for 2 months, we already have a bunch of applications. Like when I go out to new developers and interested in developing on Soon is, you already have this 5,000 super fans that are going to become like
It's
beta
massive.
testers, alpha testers. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, for the application.
I love
And
that.
that's something I think it's really unique when you talk about alt VM rollups, right? That have a main that have a existing product that you can develop on top of, but still hasn't launched a token yet, right? That's where people will like to play out. Yeah, so that's why I think it's been playing really well for us.
Well said. Let's jump right into Soon here. You guys, crazy, crazy high performance L2. And I love that you guys leverage SVM. I mean, to my knowledge, there's some, some EVM compatibility as well. I don't want to say I'm a Solana maxi by any means, Joanna, but I love Solana. Like, how can I say this? I guess there's the monetary aspect where it's like, I do have, a Solana bag, just like you, and I'm sure like a big chunk of the listeners. I just think Solana is more fun. I think the folks on crypto Twitter, on X, are more fun. I think the applications are more fun. I see a lot more perhaps real world stuff on Solana as well. But again, I love what you and the team are doing here, and it's nice to see companies building on Solana. Whereas the first couple of years of the podcast, everyone was just strictly EVM. It was EVM 1, 2,
Yeah,
3, 4, 5, all the way up to EVM 6 gajillion trillion. Now we're getting some companies
exactly.
come on and talking about building on SVM. I'd love if you could give us a quick elevator pitch on what exactly Soon is, and talk about that, how you guys are high performance L2 and why you chose to use SVM instead of EVM.
Yeah, I mean, I share many of the frustrations that you had, right? I was a ETH maxi. I guess I was working at Coinbase and then
Yeah,
Ethereum's scaling solution on Optimism, right? So just like you said, I saw kind of with my own eyes how many ETH L2s popped up, right, in the past 3.5 years, but without too much differentiation. So what that effectively cultivated was this grand farmer culture, right, where all the developers are just hopping from one ecosystem to another without too much thoughts about going into the innovation of the product itself, and then also the user experience, right? So all goes back to the user experience. And for me, what really got me, I guess, SVM pilled is when I start using some of these DEX aggregators like Jupiter on Solana, the DCA, value average, all of the user features that are unique to SVM. It's just become pretty clear to me that, right, if you want to have like a high quality developer experience and user experience, you need to be on SVM. So one thing I think that like effectively started this journey for me is we also started looking at all the alt VMs out there, right? As I mentioned at the very beginning, I think we looked at like Move, versus Solana VM versus Fuel VM and a few others, parallel EVM. And when you combine the improvement on the TPS, right, like with, currently like our mainnet launching, right, that what we're running the mainnet on, it's a TPS like 30K TPS versus normal ETH L2, like we're talking about what, 2, 3K, right? And
it's
then like
wild.
on the latency
It's
side,
genuinely wild. It's wild.
yeah, I mean, it's a 10 times improvement just right off the gate. Not even mentioning in theory, right, with Firedancer launching, that will increase TPS in theory to like 650K. So many of the use cases that we were talking about, like streaming videos, right, like getting the AI, actual like inference model built on chain, like those things can finally be built with this really high performance and low latency chain, right? Like on the latency side, we also reduced it to like 50 milliseconds, which is actually even much faster than Solana mainnet itself, which sits at 500, 400 milliseconds. So that's one thing. And then the other thing I think, aside from tech, right, is the non-tech side, like the maturity of the ecosystem. When you look at like Ethereum has been around for 7 years, Solana has been around for 5, right? Just celebrated the 5-year birthday. And all the other ones I mentioned, like Move has been around for 2, and then Fuel is even less. So all these ecosystem maturity also plays a big role. When you look at the Electric Capital report last year, talking about Rust developers or Solana developers, first of all, is at the highest growth rate, right, last year. And then that's also even not the most bullish part, is the fact that it only scratches the surface of the overall Rust developers, right, that haven't even been brought into Web3 yet. So I think that alone is like super powerful narrative that we wanted to, bank on the fact that we are making SVM the gold standard across different ecosystems. So the developer can just develop once, like using this Rust language, and then they can deploy on everywhere. So effectively, it's a multi-settlement kind of approach, and also a stack approach, right? So think of us as the OP stack for SVM, right? So effectively, we already have 5 chain operators that are partnering with us, that have launched their own, testnet or mainnet. So, the use cases can be like an AI blockchain, like app specific chains, consumer DeFi chains, but also like in the very beginning, I mentioned briefly the SVM BNB. That's a really great example where a EVM, that's where the compatibility comes in, right? The EVM L1 can get the SVM boost, right? So it levels up the tech performance, but not only that, also can bring in all these, meme launchers, right? For instance, like now, with BNB, there's so much meme hype going on. I think people are like still complaining about the fact that there's high NEV there. That's something that we were able to resolve with our centralized sequencer, so we can actually completely eliminate the NEV. But also just the fact that there's now all these Solana meme launchers can moved over to the SVM BNB and find a new home and get the user the liquidity that's already exists on that BNB chain.
I love that. We are off to a hot start here, Joanna. We do need to take a quick break. Give a huge shout out to our sponsor of the show, that is Prime XPT. And when we get back, we're going to keep buzzing on soon and some key benefits of using SVMs compared to EVMs, and Soon's approach to the issue of ETH L2 fragmentation. Until then, huge shout out to Prime XPT, longtime friends of CryptoNews.com and longtime sponsors of the Crypto News podcast. We love the team at Prime XPT as they offer a robust trading system for both beginners and professional traders. It doesn't matter if you're a rookie or a vet, you can easily design and customize your layouts and widgets to best fit your trading style. Prime XPT is also running an exclusive promo for listeners of the Crypto News podcast. Use the promo code CryptoNews50. That's CryptoNews50, all one word, to receive 50% of your deposit credited to your trading account. Again, that's CryptoNews50, all one word, to receive 50% of your deposit credited to your trading account. I hate to be a negative Nancy on the show, but I do like playing devil's advocate in some capacity. And you guys do have a unique approach to the issue of ETH L2 fragmentation and the security risks associated with L2s. And I'd love for you to get into this. I'm just sort of reading the show notes while I'm talking here. I think your solution is just absolute world class. And I do think this is a very interesting topic, and we've seen it flip-flop so many times, Joanna. Like even in the last little bit, I mean, you had the founder of Solana 2 days ago, who was like, we don't need L2s, L1s are fine. Like I'm sure you saw that as well. It's just this narrative I feel like is so front of mind on people now. So walk me through that question, tie it into just like, what's your whole point on the whole L1 versus L2 debate present day? Because it is out there, and a lot of people are really concerned about this.
Yeah. So just right off the bat, we're not a Solana L2. I think that's what like usually confuses people. We're not trying to be a scaling solution for Solana, right? Like there are other SVM projects out there that are doing that for various reasons. But for us, we're a ETH L2 using SVM underneath. So we're really combining the best of the two worlds, right? The execution environment, the parallel execution, which is much more superior than the single threadedness on Ethereum, right? So that's the Solana portion. And then we also combine that with the security layer of Ethereum and EVM based L1s. So that being said, I think the L1 versus L2 debate is usually stemming from the fact that, Anatoly, and, there's a lot of thought leaders in the space that talk about, Solana remains to be a single giant global machine, right? State machine that is supposed to be, handling all the composability within, again, like the one state machine, right? So that I don't disagree with at all. I think the design of Solana was always meant to be the one chain that handles all, which is why they're introducing like this new client side on top of Agave Ripple. Now they're introducing the Firedancer client side to further increase the TPS as mentioned to even like 1 million TPS in theory, but I think in practice like something like 500,000. Right. So for us, we're actually inheriting all these benefits that will come on board with the SVM itself, right? So that's why I mentioned even though we're at 30K TPS now, in practice, we can get to like 500,000 with the Firedancer launch. And then I think on the maybe like stepping away from like an Anatoly discussion, right? There's also like the ETH L1 versus L2, right? Debate. So that one usually what people likes to kind of play the devil's advocate, like why we don't need L2 is because L2 seems to be a lot more parasitic, right? I hate to use that word, but that's what I see the most on Twitter, crypto Twitter these days. And that's because, there's like no value accrue back to the L1. So in our case, I see it as a network extension, right? So we're extending the Solana top performance and the builder culture into a different ecosystem, right? So I think this all goes back to the fact that we have to live in the reality, right? Where like in I guess ideal world, everyone should just trade on Solana. I agree with that. But in reality, there's a lot of folks that are still, have their ETH parked on
Yeah.
in various like restaking protocols, right? In
It's the
like
king of
I have a bunch of
liquidity.
NFTs. Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah.
NFTs and are
Yeah.
still not liquidated yet, right? I still can't figure out how to get money out of that. So there's a bunch of reasons people stay on ETH, right? And have their assets there. And similar to other, like BTC is a great example too, right? People just park their assets there for other reasons too. So how do we really bring the capital efficiency to this ecosystem, right? Because what we see on the Solana world is all these new narratives are introducing, I guess what I call like a more liquid asset approach, right? To the asset base, right? So you can start trading memes, you can start trading like almost like a casino assets, right? Using your idle assets, right? And then because the chain itself is made for that type of high frequency, high trading volume type of
Mm.
behavior, right? Then you can actually manage to do that as opposed to again like just having I guess ETH only new narrative in the last 6 months or 12 months is just restaking, right? LRT, LST type of narrative, but it's not really working well, right? We can see how users are literally flooding away from, fleeing away from the ETH land to Solana for that reason. So we're really going back to like bring this better user experience and the capital efficiency, right, back to ETH land.
I love that. I mean, again, that's exactly what we need. We need the fun and usability and speed of
Exactly.
Solana with the liquidity and like, what's the right word here? But sort of just like the OG-ness of Ethereum, like
That's right. Yeah,
that's what we need.
we literally have this meme that's called like red pill. So like Ethereum, you see it as a kind of old gentleman that, just kind of not really doing anything, just lay around. Like we're just saying
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we're going to red pill you and make you a young, cool, hip dude again. If that makes any sense.
I love it. No, I absolutely love it. Look, you've been on an absolute roll here. Any news popping off over the next couple of days, weeks, Joanna? I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are moving and grooving at a crazy pace. What kind of
Yeah.
breaking news
Yeah.
can you give us on the Crypto News Pod?
Absolutely, always some alpha to drop. We've been shipping very fast, as I mentioned. We have a line mainnet that has been launched for 2 months, and we have the stack that other, chain operators have been taking advantage of. So one thing that I'm super excited about myself is the SVM BNB. Definitely we will be doing a lot more incentive campaigns around that. I think especially when it comes to like the meme mania that's been like really catching up. You see like 4meme is actually, which is the BNB version of Pump. It's actually
Yeah.
doing a lot more volume than Pump,
Yeah, it's getting steam.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's something to look forward to. I would love to see more folks playing the various, like we have DEXs deployed there, we have lending protocol, we have MemeFi, which just means that you can borrow against your meme, like highly liquid meme to buy some lowly liquid assets, things like that you can play with. And on top of that, we're doing a big TVL campaign coming up, I think in the beginning of next month. So in couple weeks, we're going to start to incentivize folks to deposit TVL into the Soon mainnet, as well as I mentioned, the SVM BNB chain. And that's in accordance with one of our partners, Eigenlayer, right? We're using Eigen as RDA for the Soon mainnet. So there's going to be some Eigen airdrops, which will be, huge on top of the incentive campaigns that we're running. So you get to double dip into those rewards. Yeah, I think on top of that, just like being able to really get involved with the community. We're revealing our NFT mint today. So please do go claim your NFT image, redeem it, and post it on your socials. I think we have a lot of people already like putting it as their PFPs. Yeah, this is only the beginning. We have a really vibrant community. So yeah, we'd love to see any new artwork coming out.
That's amazing. Joanna, I really appreciate you coming on. This was an absolute blast. Had tons of fun and learned a ton as well. Before you go, can you please let our listeners know where they can find you personally and, of course, Soon online and on socials?
Absolutely. So for me is my name, so Joanna Zeng, or you can look for Just Say You Love Joe that's on Twitter. And for my team social, it will be soon_SVM on Twitter. And you can find all the other information, Discord, Telegram group, once you get to the Twitter page. It's been absolutely a blast to be on this show, Matt.
Thank you, Joanna. Folks, what an episode with Joanna Zeng from the one and only Soon, co-founder and CEO of Soon Network. A little bit of everything this episode, and she did a great job of correcting me there as well with the proper terminology. Soon, folks, is an ETH L2 using SVM. Don't get it twisted. Make sure you get that right. That we also touched the future of high-performance L2s, community-centric building, decoupled innovation, key benefits of using SVM compared to EVMs, and the future of Ethereum L2s. Huge shout out to Joanna and the team for making this happen. If you guys enjoyed this one, and I hope you did, please do subscribe. It would mean the world to my team and I. Speaking of the team, love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. And back to the listeners, keep on growing those bags. Keep on staying healthy, wealthy, and happy. Go touch some grass, and we will see you on the next one. Love you guys. Thanks for everything. All the best. Ciao.